I would say one of the key features to our point of view is the behavior of the US dollar. I think that beginning of the year, it was very clear that individuals were positioned for a stronger dollar. I think that what is happening on the US dollar, and if it stays this way, is very important in terms of allocation. I think that it has significant impact on emerging market, on the ability of European stocks to remain a really good performer. I think that the second thing that we need to take into account is the fact that the reflation trade had disappeared, and that people now are reassessing the view that they had at the beginning of the year concerning the economic outlook. Clearly, we are living in a market where you have some doubts. When you look at the bond market is absolutely not convinced by the reflation story, while the equity market, to a large extent, is partially convinced by the reflation story. So I think those are the three elements we would consider as the key features for investing in the next 6 months.
Are those trends dead, or are they just paused because we've come into a summer lull here?
That's a big question, and I think we will not make the bet that they are dead. We would make the bet that there is a pause, you have some uncertainties, people need to reassess the situation, but I think that the reflation story, the moderately accelerating economic activity remains in place, and I would not say that the inflation story is dead. I think that down the road you have some signs that could justify to consider that inflation is going to make a comeback. So I would not say that they are dead, they are paused, and that's the reason why we do not say to people it's time to be very, very defensive and go out of the reflation trade. You need to maneuver in this environment, and I still think that risky assets can have a good second part of the year.
What is the timing on repositioning then for a pickup in the dollar from here? Because as you say, everybody got very long of it and then got whacked in the face because it eased.
I think that the summer could be a good period. I think that maybe we have entered a kind of reconsideration on the US dollar. It went down to more than 112 against the euro. We are currently in a phase, to my point of view, where people are reassessing the weakness of the US dollar. I think it was excessive. It was a bit excessive considering the American fundamental. And for the time being, we have said to our investors, please stop selling the dollar. We told them in January that it was time for them to book some profit. We do consider that for the time being it's no more the right thing to do, and we expect the US dollar to appreciate over the summer towards the 108 level against the euro.
Do we need a specific catalyst though, or do we just need for things not to go wrong?
For things not to go wrong, and I think that the catalyst that could really produce this 108 level on the euro would be if Mr. Trump is able to pass something in terms of healthcare reform. Right. At least it would be a first sign that there is the ability for the Congress to deal with the Senate and to be able to really pass this reform that is essential in order to give again the impression that Mr. Trump is able to pass some reform before the end of the year.